Now let's get to the fraud of the week. Lord have mercy. Let me pause and have a drink real quick because I'm going to need some water to get through this. Okay. So, fraud of the week. Zach brought up that it should be my bracket. Zach, why would you do that to me? Why would you do that to me? But that ain't going to be the fraud. Usually I let you all kind of pick and choose who the fraud of the week is going to be. I think that's fun. I think it's fair to do. I'm sorry, that's not happening this week. The fraud of the week is the Kentucky Wildcats or John Calipari. I'll let you guys make that decision. But I think they're kind of one and the same. Is the fraud of the week is the Kentucky Wildcats. And let me tell you why. First, Kentucky is a blue blood of blue bloods. They are at the top of the heap of college basketball. Now, somebody got into an argument with me and tried to tell me that I was stupid and Kentucky was the standard of college basketball. Is there anybody in here who thinks that Kentucky is the standard of college basketball? Because my first answer, I know I can't stand Kentucky, but my first answer is no. No, they're not the standard of college basketball. I know we got our man KY T-Bone in here. You know, I mean, he KY T-Bone is a Kentucky glazer. He just glazes the Kentucky Wildcats. Stop all that glazing. Lord have mercy. I get it. But you're telling me a team that in the last 5 years has won one NCAA tournament game, that's the standard? That's what we're doing? Oh, my God. Stop the meat riding, people. Jiminy Christmas. All this glazing. No, that's not the standard. Now, to be fair, Kentucky is, again, a blue blood of blue bloods. They absolutely are. And you're lying if you're saying that they're not. Okay? You're just lying. But if you're telling me if that is the standard of the last 5 years, don't you always have to update your resume? That's all I'm saying. Is you have to update your resume constantly. Constantly update your resume. You can't just say, oh, you know what? For instance, does anybody say that UCLA is the standard of college basketball? Hell, they've won 11 national titles. You couldn't get the biggest UCLA fan in the world to tell you that they are the standard of college basketball. You can't do that. They won't tell you that. You got to update your resume. So no, they're not. But getting back to the good stuff, Kentucky choked beyond choke on Thursday. It just a choke job of beyond choke job. A guy that literally, I don't even know if he could walk on at Kentucky. They let that kid make 10 threes. Well, I say kid, he's a grown man. They let him make 10 threes. 10 threes. But it's what we said earlier. The problem with Kentucky, you're not going to beat these teams with a team full of freshmen. You're just not doing that. You're not going to do that. You have to change. College basketball changes, and you have to change with it. And if you don't, you get left behind. All sports change. All sports, they move. They don't just stay the same. And constantly, just a constant of okay, we're going to do it this way no matter what. We're never changing. You'll be good, but you're never going to win anything. You're never going to win anything. That's just like with any job. A fireman isn't a fireman the same way he is today that they were 25, 30 years ago. A policeman, same thing. A high school principal, the same thing. A computer programmer, the same thing. things changed, things evolved, and you have to do the same. And John Calipari, number one, I don't think he's capable because John Calipari is not a good basketball coach. Now, hear me out before you tell me I'm crazy. Part of college coaching is recruiting. I would say 65% of college coaching is recruiting. So yes, he's an outstanding recruiter. But when it comes to X's and O's, he is terrible. And in the middle of the season, when Kentucky is playing good basketball, the biggest Kentucky fan will tell you the exact same thing. When it comes to X's and O's, he's not very good. You can see it on the court. And we got people over here that are glazing them. Come on, man. What are you talking about? That's BS. Have you watched a Kentucky basketball game? I mean, literally, have you watched one? What X's and O's is Calipari doing? Or you could say, hey, when the game got tight against Oakland, what did he do as a coach to change the outcome? I know the answer to that. Nothing. He did nothing. When the game got tight and they said, okay, we're here. We need our coach to help us. What did he do that changed the outcome of the game? I mean, seriously, what did he do? Nothing. He didn't draw up a defensive strategy to stop anybody. He didn't draw up an offensive set. He didn't do anything. And they lost. And they lost. That's how you know the man hasn't changed. He's not a good X's and O in-game coach. He just isn't. But when has he ever been? Been an outstanding recruiter. My man Darren Howard says Kentucky is a farm team. Yeah. But look at this. Kentucky hasn't been that good the last 5 years. Over the last 5 years, how many guys from Kentucky have been really good in the league that have come from Kentucky? Think about that. Just think about that. Over the last 5 years. So that's going back to 2019. What guys from Kentucky have been really good in the NBA? Anthony Davis was over 5 years ago. Try again. I mean, who has been good? Because that's been his whole MO, remember? Is I'm going to get these guys, they're going to be one and done, and they're going to go. And that's what I was just going to say. Maxey and SGA. That's it. And if you think about it, remember, SGA wasn't even that good at Kentucky because Calipari, if you think back, he didn't think he should come out. They had Maxey and SGA. De'Aaron Fox was, I think, before the last 5 years. But somebody look that up for me. But that's all I'm saying. Davis and Kyrie didn't go. Kyrie went to Duke. So, Tyler Hero. They haven't had, but yeah, Fox was 2018. So that ain't the last 5 years. Just think about that. That's all I'm saying. Now, when they were really good, Kentucky always had the best players. So you're like, well, hold on. The one and done worked, B. Yes, it did. When they had all the best players, it worked. There's a difference. There's a huge difference. When you have all the best players, yes, it's going to work. But when you don't have the best players, it doesn't work. So that's all I'm saying. I mean, when you have Anthony Davis, and now he wasn't very good pro, and Michael Jordan, of course, picked him. And we know Michael Jordan can't put together a team to save his life. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, they had John Wall at one point and DeMarcus Cousins. I mean, when you got the best players, and they were the best players in college basketball, but when they weren't, they haven't been very good, have they? So That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. When they don't have the best team, they're not that good. Or what I should say, when they don't have all the best players, what does he do to make somebody better? And I love what he said, where he said, maybe I got to change. Maybe I got to get some older guys in here. You think? I mean, nobody's winning with a bunch of freshmen, man. You're not doing that in this day and age. You did that in 2012. That was 14 or 12 years ago. That was 12 years ago. Update your resume, Calipari. Update your resume. Who the hell is good without good players? Well, was Oakland any good? I would venture to say that Oakland in the SEC wouldn't have won, I don't know, 5 games, but they beat Kentucky. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Don't to put Oakland in the SEC, they don't win 5 games. They were able to beat Kentucky. So you don't have to have all the best players to win. Was the best players on UConn last year, did they have the best players in the country? No. But they won. They won. And if Calipari doesn't have literally the best players, they don't win. They don't win. I mean, just stop. Stop that. So, now it's Kentucky. Oakland beat Kentucky because of lucky shots. Lucky shots. A guy made 10 lucky shots? What? What are we doing? So a guy made 10 lucky shots. Oh, my God. It's always something with you Kentucky people, man. Jiminy Christmas. The glazing continues. Exactly, Chuck. The glazing continues. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. You know, what about Shaquille O'Neal? Shaquille O'Neal played at LSU with who? I mean, oh, by the way, Shaquille O'Neal lost to an Indiana team. Do you know how many guys on that Indiana team were better than anything else that LSU put on the table? Stop. Stop. Not to mention, oh, by the way, the player of the year in 1993 was Calbert Cheaney. And guess where he went? Indiana. And Indiana beat LSU in the tournament that year. Stop the nonsense. I don't think UCLA's ever been the standard, Alex Joseph. I take that back. They haven't been the standard since the 70s. UCLA is not part of the standard of college basketball. No.